This week, Jupiter, planet of expansion, turns to retrograde motion in the sign of Cancer. All of this, an empowered moment and more in my new intuitive energy forecast for the week of Monday, November 10th through Sunday, November 16th, 2025. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, starseed astrologer and spiritual messenger, here to do your weekly intuitive energy forecast. For this week, we're going to be using the Tarot of Dreams by Sarah Marchetti. This is going to be the main message for everyone. Your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, is going to be coming from the Energy and Spirit Oracle deck by Sandra Ann Taylor. So before we get into looking at those stones or crystals of choice or talking about the astrology for the week, let's go ahead, close our eyes, and do an empowered moment. So as you close your eyes, take a deep breath. And as you exhale, relax your body and clear your mind of all thoughts. Focus on your breathing as you breathe in and exhale out. Notice where there's tension in your body and release that and let that go, letting your muscles and tendons and cells relax. Focus your mind on what abundance means to you. A lot of us may think of money and finances when I say the word abundance, but abundance comes in many forms. You could have abundance in the area of friendships. You could have abundance in the area of career, feeling prosperous and expansive with your goals. Perhaps you feel abundant with all of the various blessings from the universe. So expand your idea, your concept, your beliefs about abundance and prosperity. And know that it can mean many things. And realize that you are worthy and deserving of all of these blessings, all of these miracles, all of these opportunities that the universe has to give. And expand into that idea of worthiness. See yourself happy, safe, secure. Feel the positive feelings of joy. Feel it down to the very bones in your body. That you are worthy and deserving of all types of abundance and prosperity, that you're worthy and deserving of opportunities and blessings in infinite and various forms. And take a deep breath and breathe that intention into every cell of your body. As you exhale, when you feel ready, you can open your eyes and return to this time and place and space. And let's go ahead and take a look at our stones of choice for that special message card a little bit later. So these are special intention pendants on my website, available on my website. So take a look at my online store at colleenlemma.com and see these and many more, as well as just crystals and stones that are also infused with special intentions through Reiki. But the first stone of choice is going to be this amethyst cluster crystal. And it's been Reiki charged with the vibration of the number 9, the essence of the humanitarian. The number 9 also the number of creative and spiritual energy. This also has master number 11 energy infused into it, the number of the light worker and the visionary. Has the qualities of the sign of Pisces for unconditional love, compassion, and spiritual connection to one's angels and guides. the balancing of the crown chakra to open one up to higher wisdom and guidance. And this has the energy of Archangel Raziel, the archangel of alchemy and divine magic infused into it. And the pendant number 2 here, this is called Ancestralite. So Ancestralite, it's wrapped in silver wire, Reiki charged with the vibration of master number 22, the number of being grounded in one's own personal power and focused on confidently moving forward on one's path. It also has master number 33 energy, the number of Christ consciousness and spiritual healing throughout all lifetimes. The planet Pluto's energy, magical powers to dig up and wipe out unpleasant memories, ancestral ties, traumatic experiences, and emotions engraved deep in the subconscious mind with Pluto. This one has the activation and balancing of the root chakra to support and foster feelings of safety and security. Connection with Earth Mother Gaia and her nurturing energy and therapeutic healing powers, and the energies of Archangel Michael for the severing of cords to the past and divine protection. And then the last stone of choice is called Indigo Aura Quartz. This one's wrapped in gold wire, as you can see. And the Indigo Aura Quartz is Reiki charged with the vibration of master number 11, number of the light worker and the visionary again. The energies of Uranus, planet of high inspiration and channeling. The sign of Aquarius for downloads of higher spiritual information and heightened claircognizance. This one has the opening and balancing of the crown chakra for higher awareness and insights, as well as the third eye chakra for increased visions and clairvoyance. This one has the energies also of Archangel Raziel for alchemy, divine magic, and magnified psychic abilities, as well as Archangel Michael for protection and shielding from lower energies. So again, your stones of choice for the special message card later are the Amethyst Cluster Pendant, the Ancestralite Pendant. This one's got like gray in it too, so it looks like it's black, but it's also got some gray. And then the Indigo Aura Quartz. Okay, so let's talk about the astrology for the week. We start out on Tuesday, November 11th with Jupiter, planet of expansion and abundance and prosperity, turning to retrograde motion at 25 degrees of Cancer. Now, Jupiter is going to stay retrograde until March 10th of 2026. And it goes all the way back from 25 degrees Cancer to 15 degrees of Cancer. So it's only covering 10 degrees as it retrogrades for these next few months. So Jupiter, again, it rules expansion. And it doesn't mean that we don't have expansion when it turns retrograde. It just means that rather than focusing on expansion out into the world towards our goals and opportunities, the opportunity is for expansion within. We're expanding our sense of inner awareness, especially when it comes to our emotions and our emotional awareness, because it's in the sign of Cancer. And Cancer rules our emotions, and it rules our feelings, and it rules our empathic abilities. It also rules home and family. So we might find that there's certain memories, family memories, or certain emotions that we attach to home and family experiences, or that certain situations within the home and family right now are up for kind of like a review, because Jupiter likes to look at the big picture of things. Again, rather than being projected out into the world, it's projected inward. So we're looking at the big picture regarding our emotions and feelings and connections with our family and people that we're really close to. We're going within and we're checking our belief systems, because Jupiter rules, again, our philosophies and our belief systems. So what are your beliefs about these emotions that you've been carrying around for weeks, months, maybe years? So we're going in and we're checking, where is that fear coming from? Where does that doubt come from? Where does that anxiety come from? And we're doing a lot of healing of the emotional body, because Jupiter's in Cancer, the sign that rules emotions. But we're also doing some healing of the mental body, because Jupiter rules the higher mental body, and again, our perspectives and our belief systems. So there's a lot going on. We're also reevaluating, I think, our goals out in life. You know, it doesn't mean we have to stop pursuing our goals or that we can't take action on our goals out on an outer level. But I think that we're kind of reviewing or reevaluating, does this goal still feed me emotionally? Do I still feel emotionally connected to this goal that I have in life, that I've been trying to follow and expand upon for weeks and maybe months and maybe even years? And as we reevaluate that, we're reevaluating, does this give me a sense of joy, peace, pleasure, security? It's really about emotional security. Do my present goals and what I'm trying to do out in the world, does it give me a sense of emotional security to keep pursuing them? Or do I need to shift them? Do I need to change them? Do I need to expand them or redirect them? Because we do that all in life anyway, right? We're not constantly always chasing the same dream. We have a dream, we try to follow it, we try to pursue it, but every once in a while we get redirected or a new dream comes in, or it's not that we can't accomplish that dream, but maybe we're changing on an inner spiritual level, and the dream that we thought we wanted now becomes this other dream that we would rather have, that would create more of a sense of emotional emotional security, and a feeling of being emotionally fulfilled. There we go. So that's a lot about what Jupiter retrograde may be about over the next few months. And then on Wednesday, the 12th of November, we have Mercury, the ruler of the mental body, the mind, our thoughts, our ideas, our perceptions and communications, who is currently retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius. It just a few days ago, went into retrograde motion in Sagittarius. And so we're starting to review, revise, reevaluate anyway with Mercury retrograde. On top of Jupiter going retrograde, there's a lot of reevaluation going on. Everyday aspects of life and then the higher aspects of life. Mercury rules these everyday logical aspects of life and information coming in, and Jupiter rules that higher, bigger picture of it all. So Mercury in Sagittarius on Wednesday is connecting with Mars in Sagittarius. And Mars is the warrior, the planet of energy, action, forward movement. He's an activator. He's in Sagittarius. He's activating the vision. He's activating the bigger picture. He's activating a lot of energy and ideas and inspiration in the sign of Sagittarius. And as he comes together with Mercury, who's retrograde in Sagittarius right now, it's going to inspire us. There's going to be some new ideas maybe being downloaded, some new insights that pop into our head. It could be about our goals. It could be about life. But look for a lot of fast kind of movement, spiritually speaking, because Sagittarius is fire, and fire moves fast. It's exciting. It's adventurous. And there is a lot of inspirational movement, fast movement with that Sagittarius energy. So communications are coming in and happening. Communications going out, communications coming in, conversations, networking, again, new ideas, downloads of information happening. A lot of things are being inspired right now with that particular connection. And then on Saturday and Sunday, the 15th and 16th of November, we have the sun in Scorpio. Now, the sun is the lens through which we're shining our light. Right now, that lens of how we're shining the light of the sun is through Scorpio. And Scorpio does rule what's hidden. It rules the mystical side of life. It rules our shadow side. It rules the deep aspects of our emotional nature. And on Saturday, the sun in Scorpio is in a difficult inconjunct connection to Chiron, who is the wounded healer in astrology, right now bringing up wounds in the sign of Aries, which is where he's at. And these wounds are about our sense of self-identity, self-confidence, independence, self-assurance, all that stuff about the self, the individual. So I think that the sun is highlighting the shadow in Scorpio of these wounds. And then on Sunday, the sun in Scorpio moves on to make a positive aspect to Jupiter, who is apparently retrograde as of the beginning of this week, right? We just talked about that. And so Jupiter in Cancer, and it's retrograde. So I feel like we're diving down deep. The sun in Scorpio is diving down deep. Jupiter is internalizing its energies of looking at certain internal perspectives of our emotional barometer and how we're feeling and how we're expressing our emotions and what's going on in the home and family and what's going on in our living situation and whether we feel in this current circumstance that we find ourselves in on an individual level, do we feel emotionally secure? Do we feel emotionally secure in our situations? Do we feel emotionally secure within ourselves? Do we feel emotionally secure with the goals we're pursuing? So we're doing, again, a lot of evaluating right now and a lot of healing, because the sun in Scorpio is about some deep shamanic healing if you allow yourself to go there. So that's a little bit about the astrology of what's going on. Let's go ahead and take a look at the messages from our angels and guides. So we look at the first card, and the first card is Major Arcana 18. It is the Moon card. So the Moon card is the ruler in astrology of our emotions. The moon rules our emotions, it rules our feelings, it rules the subconscious, it rules our intuition. We can also extend that to saying the moon rules the mother energy or the parental energy, the nurturing we receive as a child. So it does have a relationship to home and family matters. You can see kind of by looking here at this, you know, we've got a bat here, we've got a portal here, there's shadow around here with a wolf and a dog, and then we've got this light in the portal with these various, I guess they're bats or birds, right? But this one definitely looks like a bat. So bats to me are about transformation. This is transformation on a deep emotional level. We even have the waterfall here, and water represents our feelings and our emotions as an element. So we're doing a lot of transformation and rebirthing of how we feel, what emotions we're holding, and what we're holding as far as emotions may have been carried with us from times past, all the way back to childhood, all the way back to previous lifetimes. The moon card does deal with the subconscious. So maybe we're needing to do some subconscious healing or past life healing right now. We've got the dog and the wolf. So we've got a lot of instinct going on here, listening to your intuition, listening to your gut intuition, your instincts of what's happening. We've got the shadow energy around us and the portal of light in the middle where things are going to become clearer. We're going to have some aha moments, some higher insights, some revelations as we go through this emotional internal transformation. This card in this deck is ruled by the sign of Pisces in the zodiac, and Pisces does rule the spiritual realm, things that are unseen and intangible, like our emotions. We can't hold on to our emotions physically speaking. We can hold on to our emotions energetically speaking, and maybe this is part of it, that we need to have better boundaries, because sometimes Pisces does not have good boundaries. And if our emotions are being taken advantage of, or we're being walked on or victimized in some way, we might need to have or set some better emotional boundaries for ourselves, which is a little bit more difficult for the Pisces energy. Pisces rules the angelic realm, the higher spiritual realms. So it's very connected to healing. It's very connected to psychic impressions. And again, that can be heightened as well. So it's not all doing shadow work and healing work and emotional work. This is also about heightened perceptions, heightened intuitive abilities, heightened psychic abilities or healing abilities. And again, we might have some aha moments here. Something might be something might come to light. You know, light is being shed on something, right? Just like the moon is a reflector for the sun. You know, that's how we have a full moon. When we have a full moon, the moon is reflecting the light of the sun. So I feel like here something is being reflected back to us to bring us clarity about something we're going through emotionally, or about emotions that we've carried with us that maybe we've had a hard time healing the emotional pattern of. So there's a lot going on here as Jupiter retrogrades back into that emotional, feeling-oriented sign of Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon in astrology. So this gives us a little indication of what that Jupiter retrograde is all about. And maybe a little bit of information about what the sun in Scorpio connecting with Chiron and Jupiter at the end of the week is all about. All right, let's look at the card number 2 here. Okay, and this card feels like it's relating to the Mercury-Mars connection that's on Wednesday the 12th, because it's the 8 of Wands. I mean, we've got 8 wands that are like kind of flying through the air. They're all flying in the same direction. So we're focused on something. The energy is being focused on something because they are not haphazard in this particular tarot card. They all look like they're pointing in the same direction. They all look like they were let loose at the same time. They're all traveling at the same speed. And the number 8 in numerology is about empowerment. So we might be empowered within our thoughts, within our perceptions and perspectives. We might have empowered new ideas or inspirational new ideas, because to me, this relates to the Mercury and Mars connection, both in Sagittarius, which is a sign of inspiration and a sign of fast movement. Usually the 8 of Wands indicates that there's a lot of things happening all at once. Like sometimes we have to juggle a lot of things because there's a lot going on. There's definitely looking like a lot of messages. We've got birds in this card, and birds are messengers. So pay attention to communication right now. Again, Mercury, the messenger, is part of this astrological connection. And Mercury, the messenger, is all about information, messages, and communications of all types. So it seems like this is positive. The only thing that could make it not so positive is that you might have so much happening that you're feeling overwhelmed. There's so many communications, ideas, situations going on at the same time that it might be a little chaotic, and it might start to feel a little anxious and overwhelmed. You might feel anxious and overwhelmed. But other than that, this is great energy. This is positive energy to move in a forward direction, to move fast. So if there is an opportunity that presents itself in the middle of the week, jump on the opportunity. I know Mercury is retrograde, but jump on the opportunity and get it done. Reply to the email, call the person back, follow up on the project. It's really a great time to bring some sort of recognition and success to something if you follow up on it. All right, let's look at the last card. The last card is the 6 of Cups, and interestingly enough, it's ruled by the sun. This is the glyph for the sun, and this is the glyph for Scorpio. And the sun is in Scorpio. And Saturday and Sunday, we talked about the sun in Scorpio connecting with Chiron and Jupiter retrograde. So the 6 of Cups is usually about memories from the past. It brings up our childhood. So childhood situations and circumstances. It brings up home and family situations. It brings up children situations with children and or grandchildren. And there is, again, this kind of reminiscing of the past kind of energy that goes on with the 6 of Cups. So I feel like this is about getting in touch with the inner child, doing some inner child healing right now, getting in touch with your emotions and your feelings, reflecting on them, and kind of bringing healing to them. So how do we do that? We could do that in a multitude of ways. Maybe you're talking with a friend. Maybe you're talking to a therapist. Maybe you're journaling. Maybe you're going to get a Reiki healing or a hypnotherapy healing. Maybe you are using essential oils or flower essences that can help with some of these emotions and some of the healing that needs to take place. Maybe you're talking with family members who are open and receptive, where you're kind of working through something that might have happened in the past. So there's a multitude of ways to bring healing to this energy. You're going to be, again, more empathic. Sun in Scorpio is more empathic, more sensitive energetically, more in tune psychically, and more in tune as far as healing as well. The psychic is usually the clairsentience, right? Where we're feeling the energies, we're feeling the emotions, we're feeling other people's feelings and emotions. So there's, a lot going on here with the subconscious and with memories, emotions, and feelings and healing. And then in the middle of the week, we have this little blip of ideas, inspiration, thoughts, communication that kind of comes in to break things up a little bit. So let's go ahead and take a look at the messages, depending on your stone of choice. I was going to say something else, obviously. Okay, messages depending on your stone of choice. The first stone of choice was the amethyst cluster pendant. Take a deep breath, and we're going to ask for clarity on the special message for the amethyst cluster pendant people. Amethyst, this one's calling my attention. And it says Archangel Haniel. And it says joy, blessings, and intuition. This is a great card, right? It looks bright. It looks inspirational. It looks happy. It looks like wonderful things are coming your way. Archangel Haniel is the archangel that helps us with our psychic, intuitive, and healing abilities. And again, it says joy, blessings, and intuition. We're being called upon to focus not so much on the heavier emotions, even though there is some emotional healing going on this week, but let's also focus on the happy, joyous, positive, optimistic, positively expansive emotions, right? So focus on what are you grateful for? What are you joyous about? What brings you happiness? What brings you a sense of inner peace? I think that this is the message of Archangel Haniel, is also doing things that bring you happiness, joy, and peace, right? So even though we're doing, again, a lot of emotional healing work, I would definitely go out, connect with that friend, go out, go to the movie, take yourself out to dinner, go buy yourself a little gift, go on a little road trip with a friend or a significant other. So doing things that shift the perspective to this optimistic glass half full mentality, because you're going to attract the vibration that you're holding. And yes, we have to heal. And yes, we have to sometimes move through the process of looking at the subconscious wounds and healing the old patterns, which is part of this week. But we also have the power within us to shift our perspective and look at the glass half full and direct our actions towards things that are going to uplift us. So I think that's part of the message here for the amethyst cluster people. Let's put that back in the deck in case somebody else gets it. So the second stone of choice is the ancestral light. Give this a little shuffle and we'll ask for the special message for ancestral light people for this week. Ancestral light. This one actually was feeling like it wanted to come out when I was shuffling. This is great. Achievement. And it says at the bottom, completion and reward. This is definitely the middle of the week kind of thing with that Mercury and Mars conjunction in Sagittarius. Again, Mercury is retrograde, but it doesn't matter. I mean, Sagittarius is the most optimistic, happy-go-lucky sign of the zodiac. So even with Mercury retrograde here, because Mars is activating it, it's bringing this sense of yay, success, recognition, completion, abundance, prosperity, reward. I've crossed the finish line. I've done what I needed to do. The next goal is in sight, whatever it is. You've won the race, whatever that means to you. It's metaphoric. But I feel like this person looks very happy, very proud, very ecstatic that he or she is where they are at. So definitely focus on, and I feel like this is part of shifting the perspective as well with the Jupiter retrograde in the emotional sign of Cancer. It's like if we focus on what our successes are, focus on how much you've accomplished this year, focus on how much you've healed this year, focus on the goals that you did reach this year, even if you were redirected or slowed down at certain time periods during the year. Focus on not just material success and completion of a goal, but focus on the spiritual success and completion of your spiritual goals of healing and taking steps towards your evolution and growth. Jupiter rules evolution and growth, expanding into our highest evolution and growth. So I think that this is just as much an internal success as it is an external success. And maybe it's both. All right, so let's put that back in the deck. And the last stone of choice was the Indigo Aura. Indigo Aura Quartz, people. Special message for Indigo Aura Quartz. Indigo Aura Quartz. Okay, the one at the bottom is popping up. You probably even knew what it was. Journey Guide. And it says travel, change in location. Everybody got wonderful messages. Even though we've got some Scorpio energy going on with the sun, and even though Jupiter turned retrograde, I feel like we're feeling internally abundant, which is half of the process of creating and manifesting material, tangible abundance in your life, is to feel internally abundant. And this one, you're on a journey. Now, this could be metaphoric. This could be literal, because where Mars and Mercury are in Sagittarius, Sagittarius rules long distance travel. It rules new horizons. It rules connecting with other cultures and other people all around the world, just like this card shows. So we've got the airplane travel, the balloon travel. It could be internal travel in your dream time. It could be travel in your imagination and your meditation time. This could be literally jumping in the car and going on a trip, a vacation, booking some sort of travel. Could be short distance, long distance. Doesn't really matter. A change of location might do you good. So even if you don't specifically have travel plans in mind, and if you feel like you can't, for whatever reason, take an extended journey or vacation, at least have a change of scenery. Get in the car, drive to a neighboring town that you've never been in, just for a change of scenery, a change of location. Because as you fill your mind, your perception, your higher perspective, you know, filling that mind that wants to expand into new horizons, when you give it something new to look at or expand into or experience, it can start to pull in and attract these expanded experiences, more of them, greater expanded experiences. So I know there must be a town or two in your vicinity within 30, 60, 90 minutes from you that you've never been to. Could be some small town, doesn't matter. Could be a big city, whatever. But maybe for a day, taking a day trip and going there and just driving around, seeing the scenery, going to a restaurant, meeting the locals, having some different food, a different perspective. See the mountains if you live by the ocean. Go see the ocean or a river if you live by the mountains, you know, whatever it is. That change of perspective is going to do you some good, and it's going to allow for blessings. The hands are held out for blessings, opportunities, and abundance to come into play. So it seemed like everybody's message really centered around that Mercury retrograde and Sagittarius conjuncting Mars, the warrior, planet of energy, action, and forward movement in Sagittarius, which is good. Focus on that this week. Not that the rest is bad or negative. Expanding our intuition and bringing healing to our emotions is a good thing. But I feel like this inspiring energy of the Sag right now, especially because Mars hits it once and then that's gone. Mercury is retrograde and will cross into Scorpio, and then it will cross back into Sagittarius. But this is the only time that Mars is going to activate that Mercury, and it seems like it's going to be full of some wonderful blessings, abundance, prosperity, opportunities, something good. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Sending you all lots of love and light. Thank you for following me on Facebook, Instagram. Check out my meetup page, Sacred Soul Empowerment. Check out my stuff on my website. As far as classes, workshops, I've got an Akashic Records workshop coming up in December. So be sure to check out everything that's happening. Drop me a line, ask me a question if anything comes to mind. And in the meantime, sending you lots of love and light and a lot of abundance and prosperity for those opportunities and blessings to come in. Namaste, everyone.